So being that YouTube likes to delete my videos, let me just go down this. Investigate this completely. So we're going down the rabbit hole. Come on with me. Well, fucking Daniel and Jay Garcia's are there. How many freaking let me just go a little bit further. Well, just to that's the Daniel J. Garcia that I have recorded. Oh, wow. And there's the motherfucker!
Are on.
But a joint USA Today Tegna broadcasting investigation found teachers who break the rules are often able to keep teaching simply by moving from district to district and state to state. We asked you how you thought Washington and Idaho.
And the thing is, I proved this motherfucker my first fucking quarter at college. And my life's been fucking ruined. Because I'm that damn good at sniffing out bullshit.
Stacked up.
Many of you say you think our schools could use work. According to Linda Byron, if you think...
And that's exactly what the fuck I'm doing. That's what I've done.
Washington and Idaho schools might have screening standards for teachers that are too low, you may be right.
Washington gets a solid B. We do well when it comes to backgrounding teachers, but fall short when it comes to sharing information about teacher misconduct with other states. And we're not alone. Teachers have enormous influence on kids, so we need them to be honest. Yet the system that's supposed to keep bad apples out of the classroom doesn't always make the grade. Do you expect your students to be honest and not to cheat?
That's my teacher.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I expect them to tell the truth, even if it's going to be painful and there is a consequence, but to tell the truth, and that's exactly what I've done.
Daniel Garcia is a passionate educator with a troubling track record in 2 states.
I've made mistakes. I'm never going to deny that.
Those mistakes began in Colorado, where, according to the Board of Education, Garcia deceived 5 school districts over nearly a decade, embellishing his qualifications, forging a doctor's note for unexplained absences, borrowing money from a teacher than writing her bad checks, even hitting up parents for thousands of dollars for an adoption that didn't happen.
I need this $6,000 and the banks won't let you borrow more than this amount.
Ann Albeck's son was in Garcia's 5th grade class in Denver in 2007.
I thought it was really strange and inappropriate and unprofessional.
Is that appropriate?
Absolutely not. Now, in retrospect, I feel that it definitely is not. It's not appropriate.
Garcia says he eventually repaid all of the money and blames his lapses on a bipolar disorder.
I wish I could go back and start from when the onset of my mental...
Yeah, but you know what?
quote unquote lies, the untruths. Respect.
But being a combat veteran and dealing with this motherfucker back in 2012 fucked up my transition because I sniffed out the fucking bullshit. Fuck, man.
I feel that it definitely is not. It's not appropriate.
Garcia says he eventually repaid all of the money and blames his lapses on a bipolar disorder.
I wish I could go back and start from when the onset of my mental illness started and the lies, quote unquote lies, the untruths started happening.
Cheap fucking excuses. It's bastards like this that caused me to become enraged, because these are bastards that destroy higher education in America.
Started and the lies, quote unquote lies, the untruths started happening. I could go back, rewind, and start fresh from that day. I would.
But Garcia did get a fresh start. After being forced to resign over and over in Colorado, in late 2010, he moved to Washington State and within months was teaching at Northgate Elementary in Seattle. By August 2011, he was a dean of students at Franklin High. The Washington Superintendent of Public Instruction would award Garcia 4 different certifications, taking him at his word when he falsely answered no to questions about whether he'd ever been investigated for misconduct.
And it's a given that if they've not answered yes to any of the questions on the character and fitness supplement, and there's no criminal history, then they're approved for certification as long as they meet academic requirements.
OSPI did look for red flags. They put his name into something called the NASDAQ clearing.
Well, I'm red flagged. I'm red flagged! Because I give more of a care than this motherfucker did. In my inferior position, I gave more of a care about the state of this nation than this person of authority.
He'd ever been investigated for misconduct.
And it's a given that if they've not answered yes to any of the questions on the character and fitness supplement, and there's no criminal history, then they're approved for certification as long as they meet academic requirements.
OSPI did look for red flags. They put his name into something called the NASDAQ Clearinghouse, a national database of disciplined teachers run by a nonprofit. There were no hits.
So we rely on that source to give us information on anything outside of our state. And so it's a very important piece and resource that we use.
But it's a resource with some gaping holes.
We have 50 states, we have 50 different sets of rules, regulations, and laws that govern the certificate for educators.
The people who run the national database want to know about all teacher discipline, including reprimands. But under Washington state law, only suspensions and revocations can be reported.
Mission of fucking
By comparing
college.
OSPI's list to NASDAQ's, we counted over 600 teachers reprimanded for wrongdoing who will never be flagged. We also found OSPI failed to report a half dozen teachers who'd surrendered a license or had it revoked for serious wrongdoing, like sexual misconduct. There were 9 names entered incorrectly, and dozens more OSPI simply didn't report because the teacher's certificate expired during the investigation. Lapses like these have some groups pushing for a federal law to mandate immediate reporting of disciplined teachers.
Our schools are funded by federal dollars, and we want to make sure that the federal government is doing everything they can to make sure that our children are being protected while they're in these schools.
When districts fail to report discipline to the NASDAQ clearinghouse or do it too slowly, teachers can simply cross state lines and get back into the classroom.
Daniel Garcia's name didn't show up in NASDAQ until 2013 when Colorado finally revoked his license. That was 2 years after he'd started teaching here in the Seattle Public Schools, and by then, he'd already been forced to resign from Franklin over allegations.
They're refusing to admit that he was at Green River Community College in Kent, Washington.
Of dishonesty and a lapsed credential.
It wasn't until last December Garcia agreed he was finally done.
Voluntarily surrendered his certificate and has agreed not to apply for a education certificate here in the state of Washington or any other state.
But Garcia...
And I'm the terrorist! I'm the damn terrorist!
It doesn't sound like a man who's given up.
Are you still hoping now to be a teacher? Do you want to be a teacher again?
Absolutely. Teaching to me is something that comes so natural.
Most teachers belong in the classroom, but allowing bad ones to cheat the system means someone isn't doing their homework.
Daniel Garcia was never accused of harming kids in any way. He did plead guilty to writing...
Bullshit!
Clearinghouse,
Washington or any other state.
but Garcia doesn't sound like a man who's given up.
Are you still hoping now to be a teacher? Do you want to be a teacher again?
Absolutely. Teaching to me is something that comes so natural.
Most teachers belong in the classroom, but allowing bad ones to cheat the system means someone isn't doing their homework.
Daniel Garcia was never accused of harming kids in any way. He did plead guilty to writing a bad check, a misdemeanor, but it was a deferred prosecution, so after he repaid the money, the case was dismissed. As for how Washington's B grade compares with our neighbors, Idaho got a D, Oregon an A. In Seattle, Linda Byron, Creme 2 News.
And as Linda mentioned, Idaho got a D grade. Analysis found that while the state has strong mandatory reporting of teacher misconduct, there was no information online about teacher disciplinary actions, and some teachers' misconduct was never shared with other states.
But when we come back, we're
Strange Day by Matthew Meditz. Yeah, I was in a reading 94 class. That was one of my first classes because that I had to take. And wouldn't you know, this is my first exam project. And I wrote a children's book. It's actually shorter than my first assignment that I did for this class, which was 12 pages long. And I actually got
it was a presentation, and I was very unfamiliar with some of the computer programs, which is why I had to time everything correctly because it was just one stream.
Garcia removed from school, and he didn't even grade this. I got an A on his assignment, and I did it in like 3 hours. I mean, the hardest thing was just finding the right pictures and all that good stuff. But, yeah, and this is at Green River Community College. Friggin'. Anyways, on with the story. In a quiet little suburban town, there was a young couple, Edward and Kristen. They were top-of-the-line black sheep with the darkest clouds over their heads. Murphy's Law ruled their lives. They were hoping that one day it would all change. Love is clumsy. I need to find my cited page. I'm off to the first day of college, Kristen, Edward said as he zipped up his jacket and walked out the door. Call me on your way home. I need you to pick up some items from the market, she replied. After nearly 10 years of being out of school, he finally decided to go back. It was Kristen's idea, as she wanted Edward to become something great. As Edward leaves the house, he stumbles over a fallen branch, drops his backpack, and nearly eats dirt. This is going to be a wonderful day, he says to himself. Edward gets into his car and drives to Rainbow Showers Community College. On his way, he stopped at the store to pick up a quick snack and a coffee. As he leaves the store, a woman on a bicycle approached him with a question. "I'm sorry, I just moved here from the East Coast and I can't even get to school without my GPS," he explains to her. As she pedals off, she runs over his foot, causing him to flinch, flipping his coffee everywhere. Joyfully, he gets back into his car and drives off, down the hill where his college resides. "Oh no, I spilled coffee on myself." Well, on my shirt. "I hope no one notices. Choose your ending." "No one noticed!" "No one noticed." And it's his first day of class, and Edward is one of the oldest students in the classroom. Not to mention he smelled like coffee, because he was wearing it. He doesn't know anyone, and is becoming pretty nervous. Right before class, he texted his lady. "Kristen, this is awful. My heart is beating out of my chest. I spilled my coffee. What if I don't do well?" She almost instantly replied, "Dear, don't worry about it. Everyone else is feeling the same way. Go get him, sugar." She always had a way to make him smile enough to break the tension, which was good because class was about to begin. So yeah, I do have a few grammatical mistakes in here. But I don't need to be reading 9 to 4 class. Anyways, pardon me. Once class began, the teacher went right into the studies. Edward reached inside his pocket to get his pen when he realized it had exploded. His hand was covered in ink. Edward was relieved when class was over because he was completely embarrassed. He went on to call Kristen on the phone while driving using his hands-free device. This wasn't too bad aside from all the mishaps. I can't wait for tomorrow to see what doom comes my way. "What do you need from the store, love muffin?" Edward then drives to the store to get the fixins for dinner. "Edward! How hard is it to get the right things from the store? You were on the phone with me right before you went into the store. How did you forget the eggs, chicken, and ice pops?" Christine yelled to Edward. In a whimper, he replies, "I didn't forget the ice pops. They didn't have any left." Christine again yells, flailing about, "Why are you standing here? Go back and get the right stuff." Edward moved with haste back out to the store. Edward is driving back from the store when he gets pulled over. The cop walks up to the car. "License and registration? Nice hair." Edward was confused by that comment, but proceeded to get his paperwork. The cop returns back to his vehicle. All of a sudden, Edward's cell phone's going off. "Oh no," he says to himself. He answers, "Hi, Chris. Where are you? Every time I ask you to do something," she continues to ramble, and Edward's frustration is noticeable to the cop. As he walks back up to the car, "I'm giving you a warning. Why don't you speed through the school zones? And hey, write stuff down next time so you don't get yelled at." "Thanks, officer." He picks the phone back up. "Who are you talking to? Did you get arrested? Why can't you write stuff down?" He lets her carry on as Edward reluctantly drives off. "You mean a light comes on in the back when I brake, eh?" As soon as he walked in the door, Kristen grabbed the stuff from Edward. They both went into the kitchen while they worked on dinner. "I'm sorry for flipping out on you, Edward. Today was just a bad day." And all of a sudden, boom, smash, crash! Edward shakes his head and gets up. "Kristen! Kristen!" He calls out. Out of the corner of his eye, he sees Kristen standing there with her arms crossed, tapping her foot. "What just happened?" she screams. Edward tries to piece it all together. "I think the sky fell on us." And they both looked up through the hole in the roof. As they sift through the debris, there's a knock on the door. Kristen goes to the door, and it is their neighbor, Big Guy Finley. He greets them both and says, "I'm real sorry about that. I was working on my catapult, and once you know, the daggone safety was broken. Sorry about this. I hope you have insurance." Edward pounces on Kristen. "Let me at him! Let me at him!" she screams as she tries to fight Edward off. Big Guy Finley continues to apologize as Edward calmly loses his mind and Kristen flies off the handle. That's his catapult. "Y'all come over to my house and I'll fix you some foods," Big Guy Finley says with a smile. "Alright, sweetheart, you enjoy a nice bottle of pop? I got cola and orange." He tries to lighten her mood. Edward is picking up the disaster, but is lost with the size of the devastation. He submits to Big Guy Finley's generosity, and they all go for a walk back to his house. Me and Kristen, Big Guy Finley. He looks like Fabio. When Kristen and Noah walk inside their neighbor's house, they are shocked. This man was a neat freak. He had separate candy dishes for each color-coded chocolate. The smell was of a 5-star restaurant. What is that? Kristen says, while catching drool from the corner of her mouth. That there is secret recipe of them ages. I got on my journey around the world last year. Kept in my deep freezer ever since. Edward and Kristen look at each other, then look at Big Guy Finley and say, what? He burst out with laughter. You gullible chickens. That's just Angus steak with Montreal steak seasoning over hickory. That cracks me up. And they went into the dining room and prepared for dinner. After dinner, Big Guy Finley leaves the dinner table and grabs something. I really am sorry about breaking your house. This here is the thingamajig that I don't need to know more. No how. Kristen takes the box and is about to open it when Big Guy Finley stops her. Open at midnight goes a legend and things will be anew. Some jibber jabber I can't make no sense from. They leave his house puzzled. They get back to their house where they look at the clock. It says 9:12 p.m. They look at the box. They, again, look at... Oh, pardon me. I think it's supposed to be. Then, again, look at the clock. 9:12. They look at each other, the box, and the clock, which reads 9:13. Kristen asks Edward, you want to open it up? He replies, sure! They proceed to open the box. They cannot believe what they saw. The clock was laughing at them. Is that what I think it is? Edward asked Kristen. It looks like a dinosaur. I think it's a dinosaur. It's not a dinosaur, fool. It's a dragon, she explained. We get a hole in our roof and we get paid with a dragon? Yes! Edward is overjoyed. They calm down and look at each other without saying a word, but they are both thinking the same thing. What is happening at midnight? Confused and worried, they turn to the dragon. Their dragon. Dragon! Why were we supposed to wait till midnight to discover you? Edward yells. No reason. Big Guy Finley likes to mess with people. The dragon responds, ah! Kristen and Edward scream. It talks, they say simultaneously. My name is Drake, like the coffee cake. Nice to meet you guys. Drake the dragon says. Hey! Hey! Hey you! Professor Vladimir yelled. Edward awake and startled. Great way to start your first day at school. Falling asleep in class. In my class! Get out! Get out now, I say! Professor Vladimir shouted, ashamed and discouraged. Edward leaves the classroom, never to come back again. The end.
And once you know, and once you know, 8 years have passed. And I'm still trying to get back in school. Man, I'm only a threat to inferior forces. You, man, are not an inferior force. You are a superior team member. And I look forward to falling under your allegiance. And pardon me as I adjust my phone, because I'm going to show you exactly how determined I am to get my life back in order. I've gone through a lot of shit these last few years. At my second college, online community college, I was trying to study drama. And let me, excuse me. Today's been an excruciating day. freedom diet. Bread and water that's been fermented. Carbs. And,
my name is Matthew Edward Meditz, and I am here to let you know that I'm fighting a good fight. But I need to ask you guys a little favor. I need some support. Don't worry, I'll do all the fighting. Just need you to back me up. I need you to stand up for what you believe in, because we all believe in the same thing. I'm no joke. I get the job done. My whole life has been nothing but people trying to hold me down. But I didn't give in to them. No matter what, I tried doing the right thing. The best I could. The best I could. Without seeking revenge. Because I know the best revenge is just to be happy. And the way we're going to win this war is with love. It's not going to be with weapons. Well, physical weapons. This is the most powerful weapon we have. But in order to use this the appropriate way, we must use our freaking hearts. We must unite. Set aside all differences. The only colors I see are red, white, and blue, not the colors of me and you. I've gone against the man countless times, and I've learned every single time how to go about it better. I've lost a lot of battles, but the war is far from over. They tried making me become a statistic while I was enlisted in the Army. But I know how to cover my ass. I know how to push people's buttons to get them to do the wrong thing. I know how to remove them from their position in which they hide behind, to expose them for the fucking cowards that they are. So let me ask you right now, are you with me? That's what I thought. This is just the beginning, my friends. This has been a long quest. It's been a hard, arduous task. For 12 years, I've been walking this road. My own family tried shitting on me. They tried putting me down. My friends put me down. Peers put me down. And I was starting to believe it. But I never gave up on myself. In the words of great Lieutenant Hyde, never accept mediocrity in any aspect of your life. I never will, and I'll stick to those words. We've lost too many of our friends, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, uncles, aunts, grandmothers, and grandfathers. You name it, your lovers. To foolish acts, because people don't know how to remove the insecurities from within. They don't know how to face the demons. They don't know how to go down the gauntlet. They don't know how to experience pain. Pain lets you know you're alive. Pain is weakness leaving your body. You get stronger every time. As long as you don't give in. As long as you keep on moving forward. You always are adapting to the situation. You're constantly evolving. Never give up. That's what they want you to do. Don't let them win. So let me ask you one more time. Are you with me? I'll see you soon.
I'm not a bad guy. I just threaten a lot of people. Because I care. Because of these eyes. and because I have a brain, I'm a future man that thinks I'm not afraid to die. Because I love. That's what I'm about. I've made mistakes. I'm not ashamed of admitting that I've made mistakes. But I refuse to be punished any longer for the mistakes that have been made by inferior forces that let me try that again, please. It's hard for me to act with proper responsibility when I'm being attacked by people in the same uniform as myself. I told that to Brigadier General Keith W. Gallagher. I might be got his middle initial confused. Sorry, I'm kind of emotional and panic mode. Panic manic. Sorry, friggin' I'm not recording or anything like that, so that's why that felt. But I had a lot of reasons to become a very bad guy. I've encountered a lot of bad. I've encountered a lot of bad people. The only reason why I'm still alive is because people have allowed me to still be alive. George Washington lost more battles than he won. Am I George Washington? Fuck no. I'm just a grunt that gives a care. And if I don't have kids, my family can fend for themselves. But what about the children? Your children, their children. My life's gotta be put to some use. I'm not gonna die without a purpose. I'm not no fucking Jesus. Even though people said, hey, you look like Jesus. Well, I shit, not shit, so friggin' I mean, I'm growing this out for some kiddies, but then compared to Jesus, Satan a lot. My ex-wife used to call me Lucy, short for Lucifer, and Guy Fawkes. Remember the 5th of November or something like that, right? The anonymous mass people. Joker. But the second week of basic training, within the second week, between the middle, the first and the second week of basic combat training, OSIT 1 station unit training, because I'm an infantry man. Well, I appreciate that, but I was nicknamed the Insurgent, and obviously, for good reason. And yeah, I mean, but it's more about my back. I mean, like, people always want to flex their guns or shove it. I mean, I got boobies, I got pectorals, but it's all about my back. That's why I'm that motherfucker. I don't know what else to say, and I can't sing a song. And due to this age of technology, it's just a little bit easier to make a video to explain myself. Yeah, I smoke, so I don't really have my pearly whites, but I still have all my teeth, never had braces, and that's, when I say I have all my teeth, that's including wisdom teeth. Never had braces. Trust me, I'm not a bad guy. Ma'am, I'm ready. Take care, be safe, be kind, stay strong. Take care, be safe, be kind, stay strong. I love y'all. Touch screens. Just do it. And sorry for this 36-minute video.